Navigating life's transitions. If you had told me when I was younger that I was going to have all these evolutions of who I was, I would laugh at you and say, nope, this is what I want to do with my life. And I'm going to do this and this. And I have my plan all set up. Are you that person? I'm just curious. Because life kind of throws funny things at you when you say you want to plan and do something, it does laugh at you. They do say, when you make plans, God will laugh, right? So if that's you and you're kind of in this whole place of how do I go from one stage to the next, and how do I gracefully transition through all life stages without having so much struggle, then this video is for you. I'm Alicia Soikawa, the Empowered Woman, and I'm here to help navigate change, growth, all things growth and is what I'm about. I'm also on a pranic healing journey where I'm a healer right now and I'm working on my certification to go to the next level and integrate that into my business and life. And not all woo-woo, but truly using it as the protocols as they teach it to help. And it's one of the things I realized when I went to Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins is that is my passion. That is what I'm here to do, is to heal others and help others. So this is part of it, healing people, helping people grow to the next level. And I just have such a passion for it. So if you're curious, come on for the ride. Today, we're going to talk about that. Like, how do you transition from this point to this point? Like, let's say you're 30, you had your first kid and you're trying to get back out there, and now second kid comes and you're just navigating life. And next thing you know, bam, you're in perimenopause. How do you handle these transitions that happen in life? And what's so interesting for women, I think in particular, we tend to have a lot of different more milestones in life than men do. We shapeshift into different ways. There's different books. When I learned about the feminine and masculine, we went to relationship. Women can go from being the fair maiden, like all cute and maiden-like, to a sage or to a queen or to someone that's really sovereign and wise, to someone that's like a hunter and just then out there and fighting. And women just shift back and forth constantly. And I think that's just the beauty of what women are about. Like, we're constantly changing. Our bodies are constantly changing. We have cycles every month. And I think that that's one of the things that makes us so fascinating and so interesting, is that no woman is alike. And I think every man can say it. And you never know what phase of a woman you're going to get if it's a different time of month, right? We just went through a full moon. And I'll tell you, for me, I don't know what happened this week, but it was a crazy week for me. And I asked several other people and they're like, oh my gosh, I had a really tough week too. And so I think it's really interesting that we are so affected about the cycles of what happen on Earth and in the moon as well. So this is not fake. It's real. If it's happening to you, it's real. It's your reality. And so perception is reality. As we go back to talking about life stages, figuring out what is the next step in your life and why do you want it is really one of the hardest things. I think so many of us are in that hamster wheel of the same thing every single day, just surviving, trying to keep your kids alive, trying to stay alive, pay your bills, make sure things are not falling apart, that you don't even give yourself a second to think about what stage am I in right now? What am I coming up to next? And what should I plan for? And then also some of us are in denial, not wanting to change, right? Because maybe life is easy. Maybe life is comfortable. I hate that word, because when you're comfortable, that means you're not growing and changing. That means you're kind of in a way stagnant. And if you're stagnant and not changing, that means you're kind of slowly dying. And that's just the truth, right? If you think about a pond, it doesn't really grow. You want to look at free flowing water, like rivers and things flowing. And if you think about identity shifts in your life changes, like whether you're going for the next job or you're changing careers, or now you decided to be a stay-at-home mom, or you're going back to work, or maybe you had a divorce or there's a death in the family. These are all things that sometimes happen to you that trigger you to make a change in your life. And you just have to decide, how am I going to respond to it? Am I going to thrive in it? Am I going to recoil back and freeze and go into fear and doubt and resentment? Or am I going to grow from this and go to the next stage in my life? I think that we never really realize there's always an in-between. It doesn't just go from one stage to the next stage to the next stage. It's not like you insert your card and go to the next level, like a video game. It would be great if it was that way, but it's not that way. I'm in an in-between stage right now. And I have to say that there is a season of in-between that we tend to judge ourselves. Why do we judge ourselves? Like, why as women, especially, we judge each other, we judge ourselves. Everyone judges. It's just part of human nature, but we're so hard on ourselves. And one of the biggest things I learned at the pranic healing course is that whatever seed we plant, whether it's quietly in our subconscious in our head or verbally out loud or journaled sometimes, it will come to life. So we have to be really, really, really mindful about what we're planting. Right? And in our in-between stages, if there's doubt, we need to understand that doubt is a normal human response because we're humans, but to know, like, I will figure this out. Always have this, I have this doubt, but I know this is true, as I will figure things out. The best things will come to me, and understanding how to rephrase that affirmation for you to make it truth versus it being a questioning of whether you're going to go to the next stage or not. And one of the things I think with letting go in the in-between is letting go of judgment, letting letting go of expectation. My husband always says that there's the book called The Four Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. Highly recommend if you haven't read it yet. And one of them is do not have expectations. Anytime there's disappointment or frustration or miscommunication or arguments, sometimes it's expectation. Like you have an expectation of how someone's going to love you, how someone's going to respond, how they're going to show up. And because of that expectation, you're disappointed a lot of the times, right? And so when you don't have expectations, there's nothing to be disappointed about or be upset about or fight about. So sometimes that's a great law to have, a great agreement to have with yourself. And that might be something you're working on the in-between stages of not having an expectation of you're going to show up at this way or this way. And maybe one day you're going to show up awesome and be like this. And then next day you're going to maybe take 2 steps back and be your old version. And it's that whole process of give and take, and 2 steps back, 3 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forwards to get you to where you want to go. And that's okay, because sometimes there's that feeling of imposter. Like I had imposter syndrome when I first got into real estate. I had imposter syndrome when I first got into medical sales years ago. I was freaked out. I remember having a nervous breakdown thinking like, how am I going to learn all of this and help people understand the products? And guess what? I figured it out, and I was one of the best salespeople in their whole company. And I won many trips. And guess what? I figured out real estate. I've been a top producer, and I'm a coach. Oh my gosh. And I had imposter syndrome of that. And also now YouTubing. Like I couldn't imagine shooting these videos and being consistent and doing 2 videos a week and reels. And guess what? I have over 104 videos. As many people I want watching? No, but guess what? I'm just starting out. And I think that's the biggest thing, is not making judgment of the results that has to be defined for you. Just allowing it to unfold. And in the practice, in the persistency, in the consistency over time, you're going to grow little by little towards the goal you want. And that's the in-between, right? That's the beauty of it all. And I think Gary Vaynerchuk always says, like, I love the journey. I love the struggle, because like when you get what you're going to get, you're like, oh, remember when it was so hard? We all have those stages. I mean, my husband and I talk about that all the time, about when we had no money and we were scraping things to get by. I don't even know how he took me to Paris when I was turning 30 and I was pregnant with my first son. He was my first child. And we went to Paris, and the best time ever. This is before Google Maps. This is before all the texting and email. Like we had no access to our phones. We were using paper maps. I don't even know how we made it through. We used the subway system the whole time. We had a blast. And until this day, it is one of my best memories ever. And we had no money hardly, and we figured it out and went. And I just think that's such a beautiful time in your life when you figure things out and allowing yourself to know, like, you don't have to know 100% on something. Go with it. If you're 50-50, just go with what you want. And that's what they say. I think I was listening to this amazing podcast with Lewis Howe interviewing Brendan Burchard, and he was saying, like, billionaires out there, the big business billionaires, make decisions with 60%, which is more than 50% information in the way they want it to go. Because the chances are it could go right, but if it goes wrong, they'll pivot and change. But if you don't even go for it, you're never going to know what's going to happen. So some of our in-between is that we're holding ourselves back because we're scared to take the next step and be in the next identity. And that's what I mean by grace. Can you give yourself that space to be in the in-between, to be in the messy middle and be like, oh, this is weird and icky, and I'm kind of over here and I'm kind of over there, but understand that the navigating, and as you release the old, the new is going to kind of keep filling it in, right? That's what they say even with eating healthier. It's not about removing all of the bad food. It's about adding more vegetables, adding more healthy food, adding more water. And by default, you're going to let go of the old because you're adding all the great stuff. Like there's no more room for the old, right? I mean, you hang out with friends that make you feel amazing and happy and joyful. You're not going to want to hang out with the people that are just not a good version of who you are or a past version of you. It's just not going to happen because there's no more space for it. And I think that's a really important thing to understand, is to allowing and letting go is part of that growth process. It's part of the in-between, and it's something that we learn. And one of the things I would say is do a journaling prompt, is that who am I becoming now? And you could do that every single day. I've been doing more free-flowing journaling in the day. I struggle a little bit with being a little ADD and neurodivergent. Like I go and take breaks and come back. And I realize that I'm someone that's more of a communication spitballer versus a written one. But the act of actually writing things out cements it from your brain. And it's so good for you to do. And I highly recommend it. So I would just say, like, curious, if you're in the middle, comment below still becoming and shoot me a DM. I'd love to hear your story, and I'd be happy to sit down and give you a few minutes to learn from you. If this is interesting to you, keep continuing to watch, because it's all going to unfold, and I'm super excited to share this journey with you. And if you're in between, let's do it together, because the next stage is coming. And if we can allow it to come and let go of the old that's not serving us anymore, how amazing will our life become? So till next time, talk to you later.